HHSAA 2023, we're going to talk about some of the things we discussed in our pre-meeting. First, substitution on a natural stop. So this was either a kickoff or a punt. We have a natural stop. We expect the officials to get into the sideline management of the teams, figure out how many people are on the field. In this case, we're breaking with 12. But because we had a natural stop, we can manage this. We can know who is coming off the sideline, how many people are out there. And if this person is leaving late, really that's on us. So we need to do a better job of managing the numbers before they get out there. Play number 2. This is an interesting play because a player comes directly off the sideline, gets in the formation, they get a snap, the defense can't match up. Contrary to what I said in our earlier meeting, this is illegal participation. It's not unsportsmanlike, but we do want to make sure that we shut this down at the snap so that we can properly enforce it and move on. Play number 3 is a sub change of play, and what I mean by that is the entire offense changes what they're going to do at the last second. So the offense comes out. You can see this is 4th and 11, and they're lining up like they're going for it. But at the last second, in a running clock, they all switch out. In this case, you can see the umpire runs up, covers the ball, makes sure the defense is okay. And if all of the substitutions are clear and the officials are ready, then the umpire can leave, as in this case, and we can continue play. Play number 4 is another interesting play. It's a substitution after a delay of game. So the offense doesn't have their act together, and they're trying to figure out how many people they have out here and what they need, what kind of formation they're in. Whistle blows, flag for delay of game. That's okay. You know, down in distance, this is not a natural change of possession, so delay of game is warranted here. Now, when we have a delay of game, we want to make sure that we treat this as a natural stop, as it is. It's a penalty enforcement, so we want to make sure our numbers are right. So we should never come out of a delay of game and have any type of illegal substitution. You can see the 12th player is coming on now. The huddle is already broke. He's trying to figure out where he's at. This is something that we can manage from the sideline. As soon as we see the 12th person come on, that sideline official should inform the coach, Coach, that's 12. Well, they had a person leave, even though it wasn't out of huddle, and now we have a illegal substitution call. We don't want this. Let's manage this on the field, be professionals, and allow the game to continue on its natural course. Now let's talk about hideout plays. So I've got an example here where it's 4th and 12. The punt team comes out. You got people coming on, people going off. But what the team on the punting side did here is they ran a number of people off, but they stopped one at the sideline, left him hanging there, and then they throw a pass to him. So that's a hideout play. That is a penalty. We're going to go back and make it illegal participation, again, contrary to what we said in the earlier meeting, and enforce that from the previous spot. So you can see, even in this case, there is a player on the sideline at the line of scrimmage used to disguise the person that they brought over there. So let's just get this right. Don't let that happen and penalize them. Here's another sub hideout. You got a guy coming in late from the top, never comes all the way in. You can see he comes a little bit in, doesn't come to the numbers. That's an illegal substitution, illegal participation, previous spot enforcement. Let's make sure we get that. Here's buying a penalty, and you can see all this unnatural motion. Some of that motion, if it's just a little clap, it's fine. But you can see he runs up to the line. As soon as he does, the offense sets in the neutral zone. That makes this a foul on the offense. So you can look at some of those movements that happened early. If the defense jumps, then you put it on the offense. But when the offense rushes to the line of scrimmage and they don't get perfectly set on a 4th and short or 3rd and short, let's hang that on the offense. 4th and 4, 3rd and 3, we're using a line to gain mechanic just like we would use in a goal line. So at the snap, we move immediately to the line to gain. In this case, that doesn't happen. Now, interestingly, the center's not on the ball. Quarterback runs up, does a hard count, jerks his head. If the defense comes off, we put that on the offense. Interestingly, the center never had his hand on the ball. Doesn't matter. False start and encroachment provisions begin with the ready for play. So even if the center doesn't have his hand on the ball and the quarterback goes up, does those hard counts, the hard head shift, still a false start on the offense. This is fourth and short, and we also have a measurement. So beginning with fourth and short means we take a step down to the line to gain. Anything fourth and four, third and three, we step down to the line to gain. So we have a snap here. The run is to the left side, and it's really tight. So let's look at the official at the top. No step down. So we want to step down at the snap. Secondly, when we have a fourth and short, we don't want a passive approach to the ball. We want an aggressive approach to the ball and a definitive spot. Now, in this case, the spot was correct, but the perception of the mechanics was not. And the spot of the ball is also correct. So we come out and we measure, and we've talked about measurements before. We do not want to pull the chain at a diagonal angle like it is now. We want to make sure we have it straight up and down, that there are no inconsistencies in the chain, and that we pull that with a 90-degree angle on the chain. Also, we were missing our official on the back chain to hold the spot, and we had the chain gang member holding the chain in the back, where we do need an official there when we're working a 7-person mechanic. Now this is a clock play, and it's a compound clock play, and what I mean by that is we have multiple plays. So we have a play here where we have a long pass down the field, incomplete. So our clock stops at 3:30, as it should. So then everything resets. We're going to go back to the previous spot. When we go back to the previous spot, it is going to be on the snap. Well, when we get on the ball at the previous spot and we're going to start the clock on the snap, we have a false start. So if we have a false start, we should still be at 3:30. Well, when we're at 3:30, we're supposed to stay at 3:30 and still go on the snap because it's a continuation of the incomplete pass. In this case, we come back out, we wind the clock, and the clock is running after a series of incomplete and a false start when it should not be. Now, this is not on the referee. This is on everybody. Back judge, side judge, I know you guys got clocks, but everybody should be aware of that. And if the referee is enforcing penalties, the clock is paramount for everybody else to make sure the referee is aware of what's going on so that we can have the correct clock status when we come back. Play 9 has to do with the game clock and the line to gain. If we make the line to gain, we stop the game clock momentarily, 5 seconds, right? We signal for first down, we wind it back up. In this case, we just don't stop it. So it's up to the field officials, someone out there, to understand that we need to manage the clock, take a look at what the status is when we have a first down, so that we don't have these excessive runoffs. All right, stopping the clock on the line to gain is something we do naturally, and we do wind it up within 5 seconds, with the exception of under 10 seconds in the second or fourth quarter. So when this player was down, there was 2 seconds left on the clock, and we're not going to signal first down and run it out if they don't have timeouts. In this case, they do, so we should put 2 seconds back on, charge them a timeout. But if they don't have timeouts, then we're going to come up, we're going to tell them the clock is stopped for the first down. We are going to wind it on the whistle. We're going to allow the offense to immediately set up on the ball without hesitation. Once they're set, we'll blow the whistle and then wind, and it's up to them to get the snap off before the clock expires. This is a player out of bounds and how we manage the clock. And I don't want you to get caught in, oh, we need to get out of the game. Let's just go ahead and wind it when we get near the sideline. We need to be accurate. And in this case, we have a catch, run, and he goes out of bounds moving forward. We get a wind clock out of the official and then a stop for the first down. Incorrect. Stop for the first down and also stop for out of bounds. And you can see down at the hip, we get a little winding signal. So we want to be accurate when we're going to keep the clock stopped or when we need to bring it back live. Recent rule change, disconcerting is a 5-yard penalty. It's against the defense. If they do this, they stop at the line, we want it called. You can see this defender even signaling false start, like he was able to draw them off. If there's a disconcerting signal, meaning a stop at the line between the tackles at the line of scrimmage, designed to make the offense false start, let's go ahead and call it on the defense and shut it down. This next play is interesting. What we end up with is 5 in the backfield, and we know by rule we can only have 4 in the backfield. This is so clear we can't get away from it. But what happens is one of them tries to move up while we have another one in motion. That does create an illegal shift. It's not a false start, it's an illegal shift, and that makes it a live ball foul. So we do have options for the defense. I know I mentioned in our previous meeting that we want to let a lot of this line play go, but when it's clear and obvious and completely open to everybody who's watching the game, obviously we have to call those. So here's an example on the next play of one where we want to be a little bit more tolerant. And here's what I mean by that. So we've got a player going in motion. He starts right here at the 31, just outside the 31. The snap, some of them's at the 31, some of them just inside the 31. That's a little too tight. We don't want that called for illegal motion, even under the parameters of shaving. In this case, we're calling back this very good offensive play for what was a football length difference in start to snap motion, and we want to lay off of those. So let's just let these games play out. We have a bunch of kids that have really given their all throughout the year. We want to make sure that we're able to manage and adjust and to facilitate the game so that the players can finish it on their own and that the champion is crowned based on their own abilities and the efforts that they've put in over the year. That's it. We have one televised game this week. We'll take a look at that in our conference call next Tuesday. Best of luck this weekend and safe travels.